You're cute. Go out. All right, so this is our front door, and we call this the hall closet, which is not really a closet, as my children remind me all the time, but it's where we hang our coats, keep boots here, bags, works really great. So then we're gonna head up this way, and this is the stairs to our master bedroom. So they're awesome, very rustic, but thick wood, and you can tell it's gonna be a disaster up here. So today we are getting the master bedroom organized. I'm gonna do a little bit of redecorating. You'll see there's not much to decorate here. I've just gotten some new bedding. I've changed our bedding. I'm gonna talk about that and the reason behind it. And we just need to get things in order. So I thought I would take you along, show you a little master bedroom makeover, show you how we live in our 1,150 square foot cabin in the mountains. Okay, so I brought the vacuum up already. Brought the tripod up. Okay, so we have a couple of things going on here. We have this little AC. We're gonna turn that off so we can hear. And I didn't make the bed, it's a mess in here. So this room is great. I love it. This is a 1.5 story log cabin. And all that means is that we live in the attic. It's not a real second story. So you'll see the ceilings go down, but it's great. So my favorite bedroom to date. We've had houses with our last house had gigantic master bedroom. I hated that thing, never could get it decorated. It just was not cozy. This one's amazing. So the things we need to work on here. For one, we've just let clutter, cups and things. And I got most of this bedding out of our camper. We lived in our camper and then moved here. And it doesn't match our needs anymore. I did get a linen bed skirt a while ago, but we need to make some changes. So I've been collecting some pieces. There's some here, there's some over there, and we'll talk about this other side of the house in a minute. So it's a mess because I've just been making little piles. This is a beanbag chair. It's where my dog sleeps. This, I have no idea. That was our Christmas tree skirt. I think I used it when it was really cold for a blanket for the dog. So yeah, we need to do some work. The lights tilted sideways. These are really cool lights though. I got these on eBay a while ago. And I mean, all we gotta do is straighten them, but time to tidy things up. So with this room, we have a couple of things. It can get, like last night, even though I guess we're not technically summer, we're halfway into June, first weekend of June, and it was freezing last night. So we have this situation where sometimes it's really hot, sometimes it's cold. If it's really hot and we turn on that AC, then that can be cold because it's like an artificial cold. I actually hate that thing. So that makes you cold. And then in the winter, if the wood stove is burning, it can be really warm. And then once the fire burns out, get really, really cold. So I need bedding that kind of accommodates that. So I'll show you what I found, which is really awesome. And then I am a believer in buying things once and having them forever. And I have just found, like, I have tried buying really nice sheets and high thread counts and all of those things, and they just don't last. It's crazy to me, but they don't last, even really expensive sheets. So the things that last are linen and wool. So we're going to be putting linen and wool on the bed today. And I do like 100% cotton sometimes. I don't think I have anything though. And a lot of these pieces I just collected at outlets. So Pottery Barn outlet, ordered a couple of pieces off of Etsy. And so I've just been collecting them and making piles, waiting for the right time to get this room tidied up and freshened up. Okay, this room's embarrassing, but we're going to take you in here anyway. I tend to let things go when I'm about to do some of these projects. I'll just stop the daily tidying. So that's what's going on here. I just knew I was going to do this, so I've just stopped caring. And yeah, a little embarrassing, but let me show you. It's just all gotten junked up and messy, and yeah. I keep hooks. It's where I hang all my dresses that I wear before I wash them. Up here, this is actually really important first off, my books. I like to read in the bath. And then I keep my essential oils and some of my natural things up here. I have another spot for those I'll show you. But I really want to move them all in here. I don't know if I can get to that today, but that's that. And then, yeah, we have a window, which is nice because we can open that and get better airflow. Here, hello. I did hang this mirror. I want to change this light. First off, it's not centered. Maybe it's centered. I guess it's centered to the broken vanity, but it's not centered to the mirror. I'd like to do a chandelier in here, which I actually have. I just haven't hung it. And then we don't have moose here. Like, I don't know. Why would moose are a mountain thing, but they're not in the Appalachian Mountains. So I feel like that's not necessary. So the other things I really want to do in here are change this light, change this vanity, and get some real wool rugs to go in here. These floors, let me talk about the floors. These were redone because when we put the tub in, we had to do that. That means under this vanity, it's not going to be redone, so I'll have to do some touching up. But I wanted wood floors forever. It was like the one thing I wanted in every house. Never had wood floors, and it's so expensive to do. But I wanted like thick plank, walnut floors is what I dreamed of. And I think the Lord has a great sense of humor and knows how to keep us humble. He gave us pine floors that are totally trashed in this house, and I still love them. And it's a good practice in being content in the things we're given. I was given wood floors. I just wasn't given antique walnut wood floors because Lord knows I need to be humble. So in here, we're just going to do some decorating on this wall. I don't need much more in this space ever. We do have a rug for the floor, mostly because the floor gets really cold and for sound. And the floors look good in the camera, but they're pretty shot. And that table is something I inherited from my mom, and she inherited it, I think, from my dad's grandma. Same as that rocking chair, so I really like those. All right, again, piles. This is the bedding. So this is a loft, and it's part of our master bedroom. I turned on this lamp. This is my dresser and where I keep my clothes. It's got clutter on it we need to clean up. My daughter made me art once upon a time. I like that up there. So up here, we're actually selling the piano because nobody uses it. I've got my knitting stuff, which is important. It just needs to be tidied. This bookcase is really important. I actually found it on, I don't know, a thrift shop, but it holds our important books and things. So love that it fits there perfectly. This is a piece I haven't been able to find somewhere to hang. I'm hoping to find somewhere today in my bedroom, but I want to put my herbal tinctures in here to store them. That was why I got that. And it just matches the cabin. This is more knitting stuff over here. This is camping gear that needs to be put away, which reminds me about stuff in the garage that needs to come up here. Just look at this mess. You know, pick up the dumping ground and then it gets out of control. This is a dresser. I don't like out-of-place furniture, but it's our natural medicine drawer. So I keep all of our natural medicines in there. You can see all the essential oils. So any situation that comes up, I've got my tinctures, vitamins, supplements, everything we need here. So I want to tidy that up, kind of go through, make sure there's nothing that needs to be thrown away in there. Clean all this up. It's just a mess. This, I have a child who likes to sleep up here, and we actually use this as a place to sleep when we have company. We'll give them my daughter's room and she'll sleep up here. So I'm looking for a little antique metal bed. I want one just like mine to go in that space. So piano gone. I'd like to put a vintage wool rug down, little end table, cute linen bedding, little antique bed. And here's where I swing back and forth. Like, I could have cleaned this room up weeks ago, and I've let it stay like this because I was hoping to find that bed and do like one big swoop. But we have to be content with the things we have and manage them well. So we're just gonna get most of this cleaned up, and then if I find that bed, when I do find that bed, we'll make that part cute. So let's dive in. Here's the thing with the log cabin. It's probably the same in a regular house, or like drywall, not regular house, but you can see in our last house, or in our houses that had drywall, you couldn't see the spider webs and the dust like you can in a log cabin. A log cabin shows everything. I'm trying to see. I don't know if you guys can see them on the camera. So there's spider webs and dust, which good side of that is because you can see it. We tend to manage it better than we did in our last house. When you can't see it, you don't even know it's there. But we have to take care of this in a special way. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, and I forgot to show you guys. There are 2 closets here. This one, and that one's my husband's. I can't get any closer or any further away to show you because this room's tiny. Here we go. So on these big clean days, if I haven't worn it or used it, in 6 months it goes. With the exception of like dress clothes that you don't wear very often or some of my heavier coats that I need. So even if I think it's cute, if I didn't wear it, like I actually really like this red sweater, but I didn't wear it all winter. So it goes. And that helps me to keep things minimal because stuff actually wears me out. It stresses me out and then I get overwhelmed and then it looks like this. And now, aside from my linen clothes, and I buy homemade clothes from a local artist who makes clothes here that are bamboo. Aside from those, I will sell my linen clothes online if I decide I don't want them. There's a buy sell trade for linen, and particularly the companies I like. And then for my handmade clothes, I wear those until they become work clothes, and then I'll buy new ones. So I have a lot of repeats of like the skirts and things you may see me wear on here. Some of them have stains and holes. If you look up close, those are my work ones now that I'll do this kind of stuff in, that I'll sleep in, I'll garden in. And then I have the little bit nicer versions that I will wear out until I wear them out. So we're cat sitting my friend's dog. They're on the Appalachian Trail, not dog, cat. They're doing the Appalachian Trail for 10-ish days. And he just ran by. His name's Goose. And then somehow we ended up with another kitten tonight. That's super cute. She's downstairs. I think her name is, I forget her name. I'll show her. She's adorable. She just ate. She's squirmy now. So what I was saying is, aside from my good clothes, all my clothes come from the thrift shop. So when I throw them away, I'm just donating them back. And it's not a big investment. So to get rid of a whole bag is totally fine, because I'll just go thrift. This is a cat. I don't know her name. Kind of wonder if I'll ever see the person who dropped her off again. Cute. And the thing I love about living in a smaller home and living a lot more simple is when I keep things down to a minimum, then these chores to keep the house tidy only take a few minutes every day instead of consuming large parts of my life. In our old house, it used to take me entire Saturdays to clean and organize and stay on top of things. Sometimes that would even bleed over into Sundays. And I just didn't want to give that much time to stuff anymore. So I try to keep it simple, only keep the things we need, and just make these daily tasks as small as possible to maintain a nice quality of life. I didn't film it, but I actually have to mop the ceilings in this house because of all the spider webs, like I mentioned. So I mopped all the ceilings and got all the beams cleaned and then worked to get all the dust and everything off the bed. It was definitely time. Cleaned up this antique furniture that I had. And then for the bed. The bedding I've been collecting for a while, and I mentioned before I like high quality linen and wool, because those are the things I have found actually last and don't wear out. And the insert to the duvet is from Wool Room, and they have some great options. You can get an all-season one and then a winter one if you need something warmer in the winter, but it's super cozy without being bulky, so it was nice and flat. It lays perfectly on the bed. It's been so comfortable. And then the sheets and the duvet and the pillowcases, all of those came from a company on Etsy called BEA Linen. And I will link them in the description below. And I have just found they make beautiful, high quality linens. I have a couple of pieces from them. And the duvet is nice because if it does get too warm over the summer, I can just pull the wool insert out, and a double layer of linen on that duvet makes for a nice, comfortable sleeping blanket. So you've got options there. This top quilt is from Pottery Barn. I absolutely love this quilt. It's 100% linen and is so cozy and just fits the bed really nicely. This bed is a queen, but it's actually smaller than a queen because it's a purple mattress, and it's been hard to find linens that fit it well. So it all came together great. I have had the most incredible sleep on this fresh new bed lately. All right, let's take the final tour, and I'll walk you through some things that I changed and some things I'm going to work on still. So welcome to our master bedroom log cabin. All right, so one thing I added, this little sconce, and I get these at the secondhand store. This one came from Pottery Barn Outlet, and they are ones you wire into the wall, but you don't have to. You can buy battery operated lights to put in there. You can buy remote ones if you need actual light. On our fireplace, we actually have a couple that we're about to mount above the mirror because it's real dark over there. That'll have bright lights in them. This one's just gonna have a flickering candle that'll stay on all the time. These down here are the same. You can't tell right now, but they're actually wax, and it flickers at night. It's already on and it looks like a candle's burning, but no risk of burning down the house. Those are super fun. I'll link them below if I can find them. So that was the change at the top of the stairs. So looking right, I didn't do much in here except for clean it up. Went on a hunt for the bed that I want. And actually, it's such a shame. When we moved here, the previous owners made this railing, and then they made a little bed that went up here to match, but it had been left outside, and it had the beetles that eat wood. So the wormwood beetles, the wormwood's so popular around here, and barnwood, but you do not want to bring that in your house, especially when you live in a wood house. And then I started thinking about it, and the child that's sleeping here likes their stuff and is sleeping here for a reason right now. So I'm going to wait until that phase is over, and then I'll decorate this to my liking. So I cleaned up all of this. Got some things organized. On this side, I am about to redo all of our natural medicine stuff, and I'll show you that in a minute, my plan. And then this is our backpacking gear. And it's important, our camping gear stays outside, but the backpacking gear has to stay inside. So I am going to empty all of this, reorganize this somewhere else. I'll show you where. And then I'm going to get a antique trunk to stick here, or maybe even where this piano is, because this piano is going, and just put an antique trunk in here that I can keep our backpacking gear in, because that needs a home. Dresser, I didn't do much. My daughter's sweet art from when she was little. I just don't feel like moving that yet at this stage. All right, so heading into our actual bedroom, this is what we did. So I put a rug down, and I love this rug. I'm a blue and browns person, if you haven't noticed. And this one's probably gonna go in my kitchen, but only because we decided, my husband and I, last night, we love having a rug in here. These floors, if you spill a cup of water, it goes right down to the room underneath it. There's nothing in between the floor and the roof of the next, part of the house. So I'm going to get like a 9 by 12 because we like this much rug coming out from under the bed. And if I do a 9 by 12, I can have that much rug coming out on the other side as well. And the dog slept here, so I can get rid of that ugly beanbag chair that's in the way. The dog really liked the wool rug. So I'm on the hunt for a 9 by 12 wool rug to go in here, but I love it. Absolutely love the rug. So this is my husband's little nightstand. It's nice because it's light and we can move it, so that works perfect. Let's talk about the bed. The bed last night was so amazing sleeping in here. So I'm really big on like setting our space up to look pretty, but it also needs to function to everybody's needs. That's why I don't want to move that bed in there, because for whatever reason that works for the person who's sleeping there. So my husband likes to sleep with just one blanket and like wraps it all up in him. So he doesn't go underneath the sheet or the duvet with the wool in it. So this linen top blanket, this quilt, is for him. And so he pulls that over, sleeps on there. I like many layers because I am just really cold natured at night. So I go underneath the sheet and the wool. And if I'm super cold, there's enough of the quilt that I can share there. Also in the winter, I will put an antique crochet, really, really heavy, I guess you call them a coverlet at the end of this bed. I use it in the winter because it's so warm, and I'll keep that at the end of the bed sort of folded up. That way, if I do get cold, I have an option. So love it. It's just so beautiful. So these linen sheets, I'll link them below. They're from an Etsy dealer, Bay Linen, B-E-A. And it's got the ruffle. Just slept so incredible. I wasn't sure if that wool would be too hot because we are, in the warm season, but it's still pretty cold here. And it wasn't. It was amazing. And if I got a little hot, I could just pull it back some. They have a light and a heavy. And so the other option in the winter is to switch to the heavy if I feel like I want something a little heavier in the winter. So I cleaned up the nightstand, picked some fresh hydrangeas. Isn't it just so beautiful in here? So this is the dog's bed that I want to get rid of. So the rug will come out all the way through here. Once I find the right one, and it'll cover all this wood, which will be so nice to get out of bed and walk on a wool rug in those cold winter months. So that'll be the next phase. This bedding is really pretty too because it's got ruffles. So we've got like a layer of ruffles. Not that anybody can see them, but I know they're there. Over here, rocking chair. Another blanket. That's my linen throw blanket. This is some of my knitting stuff that I'm working on right now. So I reorganized that. And then I went ahead in the bag that my wool blanket came in. It came with this really great bag. I went ahead and put all my extra yarn in there and put it under the bed so I don't have to have baskets out that collect dust, because I already showed you guys this house gets super dusty. Okay, so panning this way. One great thing about this house, our last couple of houses, doing window treatments was thousands of dollars. Because the windows there were so many windows and they were big. Let me turn on the light. I'm a dark-natured person, if you haven't noticed that. Here, like I bought those at Lowe's when we moved in, I think for $34. They're up to $70-something now because I had to replace one recently. But just super simple. A lot of those things, there's my towers. A lot of those things just make life easier when you don't have to, when you don't have to buy like custom things. I really like that about this house, just having done that so many times. Okay, here, I didn't put that plant in yet. I'm gonna transplant that into this pot and let that have some space, probably one more to it. There's room for a second plant that can trail, but just get some plants in here. Plants clean the air. I hung some antique pictures. This is a piece I bought off Facebook Marketplace. And I just loved it. And so I've been big on, when I see something I love, I'll buy it and then figure out a place to put it within parameters. Obviously, there's this bookcase I'm in love with, and there is nowhere in my house you can put something that big and tall. But if I know I can probably find a place, I'll grab it. So I grabbed this well over a year ago, and I fixed it because it was kind of falling apart. But I'm going to put my herbal tinctures in here to age. I don't have a spot for them right now, and this holds big jars really well. It's eye level. I'll remember it because it's right here where I see it every day. I put some of my knitting magazines in there, and just great. Put my emergency flashlight, but I have, you know, space to put some of my whatever natural medicines. I like to keep all the natural medicines, the making things, in my bedroom. If I put them in the kitchen, it just takes over. So love this space. Let me back up so you can see it. Yeah, so here's the whole picture. Minus that ugly thing. But you know what? It keeps us cool when it's blazing hot. And I'm feeling like we're going to have a really hot summer. Just seeing some signs. Here it is. Let me show you with the lights out because we never use this overhead light. I hate overhead lighting. Isn't it so super cozy? And that's what wakes me up. I keep the blinds open and I wake up to the sunlight. So sweet. Let me show you something else. I'm cat sitting my friend's kitten. This goose. So the only thing I'm going to work on now is the rug, and I've shared I'm redoing my kitchen. It's a process, and after doing this room, I think I'm going to start doing the kitchen like one little thing at a time, because this got overwhelming and this wasn't even that big of a project. But just about a phase of my life, like the towers, I like simple projects. The only thing I'm going to focus on in here right now is the rug. Once I get the rug, I'm going to focus on the bathroom vanity. I'll show you what else I'm going to do in the bathroom, and then later on I'll deal with that loft when it's time. One thing I didn't mention, I am changing all the doorknobs to cast iron metal. And I can do that in this house. They're expensive to do that, but they're so amazing. And we don't plan on going anywhere, so I can invest that. Some of these doorknobs are kind of janky and breaking. And I can do that in this house. Again, it goes back to the blinds. We did that in another house. It was so ridiculous, the cost. Here, I only need 5 doorknobs for the whole first and second floor. 5 doorknobs. So I can buy something a little bit nicer because I only need 5 of them, which is awesome. So that's on the list. I have to get them when I go to Florida. But you change the hinges too to the matching black cast iron, and it makes such a difference on beautiful doors like this. And then let me show you another feature of this house. There's a big cross. We love the crosses in this house. There's crosses on some of the doors. I'm excited to get rid of that piano. It's cluttery. That's going this week. Someone's coming to buy it. So another thing I want to do, above each closet here, these were just built out. I'm going to start my basket collection up here. So I love baskets. I use them for my harvesting. I use them for a lot of things. But anytime we go anywhere, take food anywhere, I use baskets. So my knitting, I carry a basket, and I just love them. I think they're so beautiful. I don't want to put anything in them, because I have found if I buy furniture to store things just for the sake of storing things, I just store a bunch of stuff we don't need. So I'm going to buy the chest, like I mentioned in that other room, because we need that for the camping gear. Up here, it's just going to be empty baskets. That way I can grab them. I will get one of those shepherd hooks and just hang it on the wall right here. And you can buy really decorative ones that are pretty, and then you can take your shepherd's hook and grab your basket when you need it. So I'd like to do that up there. That's a longer term. Again, the rug's first priority. All right, let's go into the bathroom. So I will start looking for the vanity. I don't want to have to build one myself. People take antique furniture and add a sink to it. That's what I'm going for. I want it to be a really rustic, primitive looking dresser with a sink in it. I see them occasionally on Marketplace. I'm just gonna keep looking. When I find it, I'll grab it and we'll do this project. Until then, it's just gonna stay as it is and it'll be fine. One thing I'm gonna do pretty quickly, maybe even this weekend, is change this light, or I may wait until I get the vanity. Sometimes it's easier to do, like when you're gonna do a plumbing project, I don't know. I have the chandelier for this room. The only issue, I don't know, and I wanna do a chandelier because the way they hung these lights are centered to this gigantic beast of a thing that we don't use. We don't need two sinks. Nobody even uses this bathroom but me. So if I do a chandelier, I can mount it there and then do a chain. I've done this in other parts of our house and hang it from here. The only issue is I gotta make sure I hang it so it doesn't hit the door because it's a pretty big chandelier, but it's beautiful. So that I already have, I just need to do it. So that'll be an easy project. Over here's the bathroom. The thing I'm most excited about with the new vanity is we need this shower cart and it's way jammed up right here. So by putting a small vanity in, it'll be slightly bigger than the mirror is all I'm going for. And just look at all this space. It'll give me room over here to have that. I'll have a little more breathing room. And then on this side, I don't know, I'll do nothing. Basket, just more room. This thing's just ugly and it's a beast. Okay, this side, my laundry is my laundry. It's just where I store most of my clothes all the time. And I rewear them until they're dirty and then I wash them. So here is a lot of my natural stuff. And every one of these drawers is empty except for two. So that's where I'm gonna start moving a lot of the natural medicine and get it organized over here because I have this space. I can also hang, I can put essential oils in here. I've just got room. The only thing with this is because it only has one shelf and the shelves are so tall, you kind of got to stack things, which is not ideal, but I can also, I've seen like organizers. One thing I'm trying to do in my kitchen too is like little miniature dressers. I don't know if you've ever seen those. I see them at the antique shop all the time. I'll see people put like little dressers or little drawer things on a shelf to maximize their stuff. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna look for a couple of small ones or at least one small one that'll fit on here. That'll give me more drawers on some of those big shelves. And then you can store things on top of it, but all the natural medicines and the supplies. So I have a lot of supplies so I can make my own stuff. The base ingredients, they will be up here because I've found, you know, out of sight, I'm not making a lot of things like I used to because they're sort of tucked away in there. Same reason I want to get the tinctures over here in this cabinet. Now I have a space for them. I've actually been putting off doing a bunch of them because I just was stressed about where I was going to put them because our kitchen literally cannot handle another Stephanie project. It just can't. So here, now I can do them. All right, so this is the bathroom. And these books are ever changing. I have a bookcase downstairs and then whatever I'm reading, I just move up here. I did get rid of a bunch of books that I already read. I don't keep things after I read them unless they are critical to like, I don't know how to explain that, lifestyle, like things, the internet has already changed. It was like in 2019, a light bulb went off, a light switch was clicked, and the internet changed as far as how to do a lot of things from a natural perspective. So I keep the books that are teachings, like biblical teachings, because that's important to me. And I keep the books that are teachings on how to take care of yourself. So I've told my children, like if something happens to me, they can get rid of everything I own, but they have to keep the towers and they have to keep the book collection because those are the things that'll keep them alive someday. Even if they think they don't need them, I've made them promise to keep them somewhere and not get rid of them. Okay, and here is, oh, I'll show you what else. I said I didn't know what I would do with this space. Actually, no. I want to put a hamper with a lid over there to hide my laundry. It's in the way right here for sure. So that'll give me laundry space. I want to put some wool rugs in here. A small one for when you get out. The antique ones. I like these antique real wood rugs. So I'm going to put a small one there, and, you know, we'll just see, depending on the vanity. But I am looking for those actively. So here's the bathtub. The bathtub is amazing. And this has a shower as well. And then I found a spot for my mushroom picture. I have had this for a while. Again, I buy things I like, and then sometimes I can't figure out where to put them for a while. I was thinking this had to go in the kitchen because it was mushrooms, but why? It doesn't have to go in the kitchen. I don't even think they're edible mushrooms, actually. So it's here. And it goes with the whole black monotone picture look. These are some of my favorite pictures too. This mushroom. That was done by a local artist. It's burned, it's etched in there. And the last thing, you'll probably see this around my house a lot. And I think I'm gonna add one more to my bedroom. These are intentional. I like the way they look. They decorate wall space, but I keep them in case we lose power, because that happens, and you can light a candle easily and very safely, and I don't have to like look for candles or store things. I can just light a candle so we can see what we're doing. Pretty much in every room in the house. I also have those battery operated ones. So those are already on, which helps too. If I put one in here, it'll go on this wall. I'm thinking of like a tiny rustic, super primitive looking one. I've seen one at the antique shop, and I think that would look really good just to kind of finish off that wall. All right, so that was our master bedroom, little makeover cleanup. Thanks for joining me. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.